Here on 95.7 The Game, Joe Shasky, the Butcher, and Bonte Hill. And Brett, first and foremost, are you in Seattle this weekend for all the festivities going on at T-Mobile Park?
That's what I'm doing. I'm in the elevator right now, starting the festivities for, what is this today? Monday? Yeah, I've been here since Thursday.
Oh, you sound cooked, man. Brett, have you gotten any sleep then? You don't even know what day it is right now.
Exactly. No, I've been up. I got up a little early. For me, this is sleeping in. But yeah, we've been running around everywhere. But it's been fun so far.
Hey, I want to ask you a question. Your brother is the manager of one of the biggest sports entities across the board, right? No matter what country you're in, and the sense of pressure to win now, he must feel it on a minute-by-minute basis, and I'm sure he's talked to you about it. We're talking so much. It feels like the Giants, who are a big brand, they won 3 championships. It felt like it catapulted them into an upper echelon of the sport. It just doesn't feel like there's this sense of pressure from the media and the fan base out here. Like when you juxtapose Yankees versus Giants, there's a huge drop-off in terms of sense of pressure, isn't there?
Going down.
Yeah, but it's tough. You play this game. It's been his whole life to this point, and you go into the job. You know what you're getting into. It doesn't matter what you do. If you just rattled off 8 or 9 wins in a row, or you just lost 8 or 9 games in a row, especially in New York.
We're losing Brett a little bit. Hey, Brett, we're losing you a little bit here. Let's see if we can clear that lineup, Lubman. Clear that lineup with Brett, because I do wonder about the sense of urgency. The Yankee sense of urgency, I like that sense of urgency. Last year when I was in Europe, and this is how sick I am on vacation.
What's that?
I ran into an interview on YouTube with Chris Mad Dog Russo and Mike Francesca interviewing George Steinbrenner. And they peppered him for an hour on WFAN. And I was like, damn, it's just different in New York City with the Yankees.
Yeah.
It's different.
But isn't the Niners, like the way we cover the Niners, isn't that different?
And the Warriors.
And the Warriors.
There's sense of urgency.
I think there's this false dichotomy about the Bay Area that we don't have passion. And
right.
I'm like, no, I think we're insane.
We're insane out here. But when it comes to the Giants, we have to be patient. How much patience do we need to have?
Bonte, they just, well, however you want to phrase it, a kid, Jordan Poole, is no longer in town. How many tweets did you get tagged in over the weekend?
Oh my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Brett, we got you back. Go ahead and finish up, Brett. We got you back.
All right. How you doing?
Yeah, we're back. What's up?
I'm telling you, I got on that elevator and it's stopping at every floor. So I'm down. I'm in a secure location.
Well, that's what happens when you stay at 5-star hotels, man. Everybody wants to get on and off, on and off, on and off. They should have like more elevators though at the hotel you're probably staying at.
Yeah, we got plenty of hotels. We're still busy.
Go ahead, finish up on that answer, Brett. That's your Shasky. Go ahead and rephrase your question if you want.
He was talking about, the pressure of playing in New York. It's a different animal, without a doubt. As a player, I played in Seattle and Cincinnati the majority of my time, and that's not like a New York. I don't think there's really anything like New York across the board, all the major sports. Yeah, you can go to a Boston, a Philly, and get that baseball taste of that pressure cooker. But New York's New York. It's the Yankees for a reason. I've talked to Aaron many times throughout his tenure there, and we broke it down. I said, Aaron, what do you expect, man? I said, this is the biggest stage. You got to want this. You win in New York, you're going to have the key to that city for the rest of your life. I said, you want to go manage in Kansas City? Nothing against the Royals, but it's apples to oranges. I said, if it's me and I'm managing in the big leagues right now, I want the biggest stage. I want the hottest flame under me. And I know what it is. I wake up in the morning, I read the paper with a smile, like, this is ridiculous, People that are commenting, especially today with the social media, what you have to deal with.
Yeah.
It comes with the territory. It comes with the job. You want to be a New York Yankees manager? Wow, there's a lot of perks that come with that. But at the same time, you know what you got to deal with. You're going to have criticism about everything. I look at it, and I think the baseball people that know the game look at it very fairly. And assess you on the job you're doing, and all the other stuff, that's just noise. So really, it's not that big of a deal. We've been doing this our whole life. That's all we've been doing is going into hostile other venues and playing our whole life. So it's kind of not that big of a deal. But yeah, I mean, you know who it affects? His mom, my mom. My mom will call me. Those New York people are mean. I said, Mom, come on. You of all people, you were with Dad forever. Dad played 19 years in the big leagues in Philly. They'd boo him out of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
You watch me get booed. You watch Aaron get booed. Of all people, Mom, you've got the most experience. So
that's
people
great.
it affects. But for the most part, it is what it is. Part of the job.
Yeah, we've had to tell our family, stay off Facebook, stay off the comment section, and we have such a smaller level of criticism than your brother. You talked about, like, the assessments are being made for you. How would you assess the San Francisco Giants' first half as someone from outside the Bay Area bubble?
I think the Giants, they exceeded my expectations to this point. I didn't think they were going to be a factor at all. But the bottom line is they can pitch. And whenever you can pitch, you've got a chance. This Giants team can pitch. It's in a division where the L.A. Dodgers are not what the L.A. Dodgers have been for the last 5-6 years. They're still a good team, formidable team, but they're not that good. Arizona's better. But San Fran's, put themselves in position at the break where they got a chance to win this division. I was looking at the wild card too, and as of today, if the season ended, they're in the postseason. Yeah. So I think so far so good. I think the Giants fans have got to be pleased. I think going into the season, there weren't those big expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I think so far so good. We'll decide. We'll see at the trading deadline if they're going to make some moves.
Well, that's the thing, and we're talking to Bret Boone here, the host of the Bret Boone podcast here on the Odyssey Network, and he, had a long career. Of course, have some of his best seasons in Seattle when they won 116 games. He's in Seattle right now for the AllStar festivities here. Of course, home run derby later on tonight at T-Mobile Park. When we look at the Giants and we look at this league, and there's going to be a lot of buyers, Bret, a lot of buyers. It's going to cost to get you something here. If you're the Giants and you're looking at their farm system and what they're trying to do here, do you mortgage some of the future to try to get something now? Because these windows of opportunity to win in baseball don't come around very often.
Without a doubt. It's not even a question for me, especially being on that side of the ledge. Being a guy I've been on some teams where we had a chance to go for it and we didn't. And I've been on some teams that we had a chance to go for it and we did. And there's a difference. There's a difference mentality-wise in that clubhouse. The most important people are the 26 guys in that clubhouse. And when some of the greatest times are when that guy upstairs, the ownership has got your back. And when they're trying to give you the best chance to win. I mean, I can't tell you what that does psychologically for the guys in that clubhouse that have got to go out in that field and do it every day. For me, it's a no-brainer. I think you summed it up perfectly when you said opportunities don't come along that often. Right. I think they see a vulnerable division. I think they see a division that is gettable, and they're right in the mix. As of now, they're in the playoffs. I think the Giants, and I heard you guys coming into my segment talking about, you're sick of talking about the 14 and the 2012 World Series. Well, they've established that they were dynasty, and you don't win 3 World Series in 6 years. They know what that feeling's like. They know what that means for the San Francisco Giants franchise. And I think if you've got an opportunity, and this is an opportunity, you've got to seize it. You have to be a buyer if you're the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm watching right now on MLB Network you pitching in the celebrity slow pitch game. I see you got looks like one of those Rawlings Liberty gloves. You're looking pretty good. You got
1, 2, 3. No, you got the 1, 2, 3 inning. It looks like.
Well, no, Levine looked like he hit a bomb off you. Did you have fun?
I'll tell you, I got lit up on the ledger, but I lit them up hitting. So now I went into it. And it seemed like a good idea 2 months ago when they asked me to do it. And then I'm walking out in the field, and I'm like, I don't know how good of a idea this is. But I ended up having a really good time. I didn't worry about the athletes on the field getting it done. But you think, well, how good are these, singer-songwriters going to be? I'll tell you what. I got my eyes open. Some of those dudes could hit.
Who?
So we had a good time. We had 5 innings. We won. We ended up taking in the long run, 21-19, but I had more fun than I thought I was gonna, and I'm paying for it now. My back's killing, and I swung the bat 3 times, and I forgot that I'm 54.
Oh.
Those three swings brought me back to my 20s and my 30s, and I let it go. So
wow,
I'm feeling it now. But it was a lot of fun. It's cool being back in Seattle.
Let me ask you this, because you were a great hitter for a long time, Bret. The Giants seem to operate from a belief of waiting for a pitch in your part of the zone and driving it, and only waiting on that pitch regardless of who is on the mound. Do you agree with that approach?
Getting a pitch to hit?
Yeah. Waiting for your pitch in your part of the zone. Like, if it's not in your zone, they won't swing at it. They won't even look at it. It doesn't even matter. They just will sit there and wait for their pitch, and their pitch may never come, which may result in multiple strikeouts.
Right. I think it's all up to the individual. Okay. I mean, that's a great concept to think about. I was more of an aggressive hitter. You know, I swung at balls outside the zone, but balls that I could handle. It's all about knowing yourself. I mean, there's certain guys that can do it. I played with a guy Johnny Olerud.
Oh yeah.
Who would not swing unless it was right where he wanted. And we used to tease each other and have conversations. And Johnny said, you know, Booney, if me and you combined and we were one person, take your aggressiveness and my eye, we'd have something there. I said, you bet your ass you would. But we can't do that. So it's an individual thing. You know, I think when you talk about that approach, it takes me to a Juan Soto in San Diego, a great, young, unbelievably talented offensive player. But it's almost like I watch him after a while, and it's almost like he's walking too much. You know, if that's a possibility, it's like he's almost looking to walk. When this guy's got, you know, some of the biggest power, some of the biggest offensive prowess in the game, it's like, yeah, it's great that you walk and get on base. But, man, I want you maybe expanding your zone a little bit in 2-0, 3-1 counts and doing some damage. So it's almost like he got too caught up in that walk game. I know he's an all-star, but you look at his numbers, I look at his numbers, yeah, they're fine. They're good, but I expect much more from a Juan Soto. I expect more like a Robert Acuna number of Juan Soto than what Juan Soto's numbers are, though.
Sounds like Brandon Belt.
He's obviously talented, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. Like, we always used to hear, hey, if you're up 2-0 in the count, 3-1, you've earned the right to swing with both cheeks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's just my philosophy. I'm looking at this first half of baseball right now. Ellie De La Cruz doing what he did over the weekend, stealing second, stealing third, stealing home. It's just incredible. He's been a phenomenon. And then seeing what Shohei's done, Ronald Acuna. We talked about this heading into the year. It feels like baseball is in the best spot in terms of athletes that it's been since like the 90s. I've had more fun watching this first half than I can in a long time. Where are you at in terms of just the narratives and where the game is being played right now with all of the different rules and the young players killing it?
I think the rules have been a home run, and I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm actually really surprised that I'm this happy with the rule change that I didn't think I was going to be. I think it's been a great thing for the game. Shohei Ohtani, come on, I can't even. I'm sick. I'm kind of embarrassed. I fawn over him so much, but I'm so in awe of what he's doing. Every day he does something new, and it's amazing. This Ellie De La Cruz comes onto the scene, and he's throwing a lot of excitement into the game. You know, he's kind of a Fernando Tatis type personality. And that's what he is. He's not only a great talent and a ridiculous athlete, but he's fun for the game. And he's another guy that you think if he continues to play like this, he's going to kind of be one of those faces of the game. And then Cincinnati, of all cities, kind of needs that right now. So I think all these things. I think the Baltimore Orioles being talked about right now. When's the last time we talked about the Baltimore Orioles? I mean, they've got one of the best records in baseball, 54-35. I think that's great. I think, you know, the Cubs even being in it in the middle, they're pitching. Cincinnati being in first place. When's the last time Cincinnati was in first place? And I look at the Texas Rangers. You know, the Texas Rangers coming out of nowhere, having one of the best offenses in the game. So you're right. I think that there's a lot of really fun narratives out there. I think it's been a fun first half. I think a lot of teams are in it, and I think it's going to be a great run. It's going to, for me, it's really interesting at the buying, selling, trading deadline. Who's going to buy? Who's going to sell? And that's always interesting for me every year. And believe me, the players on the field, we're thinking about it right now. Like, hey, we've got to continue to show ownership that we're in this thing at the deadline because we don't want to sell. You know, that's what players start thinking about right now is don't break our team up. We got a chance. Just hang there with us. So it's interesting what's going to happen the next couple of weeks.
That's an interesting perspective right there, Bret. Bret Boone here on the Morning Rush on 95.7 The Game. Now, you're up there at the All-Star game, and there's some guys who are probably sitting at home. Some guys sitting at home who didn't get the call for the All-Star game. How angry do guys get about being snubbed from the All-Star festivities, Bret?
Okay, now I'll talk about something. Has it ever been? How many spots are in the All-Star game? There's like 75.
There's too many.
Way too many.
There's too many.
Now I'm going to sit here. I'm going to go the other way and say, when I was playing, it was hard. You had to earn your spot on that All-Star team. Now you just show up and you got a pulse. You make the All-Star team. No, I don't want to. I don't want to be. I don't want to be like that. Depends on the individual. You know, like with anything. I mean, I remember the first All-Star game where I considered I got snubbed. 1994. I'm hitting 320 at the break. And I don't make the team. It would have been my first All-Star game. And you want to go to the top of the rooftop and shout it out, but you don't do that. You just kind of go, that's way, there's nothing I can do. As a player, all I can do is what I do on the field, and then everything is out of my control, whether I'm an All-Star or whether I'm not an All-Star. So you learn at a young age that you just got to kind of bite your tongue and move on. Yeah, you feel it. But you keep it internal. You know, I've seen some players, they come out and they're verbal about it. They go to the press and they talk about it. It's never a good look.
Yeah.
It's never a good look to go out and air your laundry out there and say, especially pound your chest and say, I should be an All-Star. Let somebody else say that for you.
Right.
You know, and when somebody else starts saying it for you, then it makes you look good. We can't control the awards. We can't control the All-Star. But, yes, when you don't make a team and you kind of know in your heart that I should have been on that team, it's tough. On the flip side, you know, I've had some awards where I don't think I really deserved it, but I won, and then I'm okay with it in my mind, though. I said, yeah, but remember 94 when I made that All-Star team, they owed me one. You know, the baseball gods owed me one. So it goes back and forth.
Booney, I'm watching you hit a jack here in softball. You look completely winded.
You know what? I hate to toot my own horn. You haven't even said it yet. I was the MVP.
I said that. That's what we were saying. MVP.
Yeah.
You got a championship belt.
Oh, it's cool, too.
Yeah, you wearing that around the hotel today?
It is cool. No, it's too heavy.
And I thought Zach Levine and the other guy were going to crash and tear Zach Levine's ACL out there in center field. Real quick, though, many years ago, Bruce Bochy got Beltran on the plane with them on their way to the All-Star game, and that's where they started to kind of recruit him before they ended up making a trade for him. Shohei Ohtani, he's obviously the guy everybody wants. Do you start your pitch now, whether you're trying to trade for him at the deadline or in free agency, or is that kind of a no-no?
I think you'll see people that do. Here's what I can tell you. The game has changed. It's a different world than when I was playing. In my day, yes, I could get on a plane and Bruce Bochy could make a pitch to me. It was more of a, you know, guys hung out more. Today, very different. It's kind of like even if I need a new bat order with the clubhouse attendant, talk to my agent to get the bat order instead of, you know, my guy, his name was Teddy. I'd walk in and say, Teddy, I need some new bats. It's different now. Everything's done through channels. Talk to my people. There's not as much, you know, Bruce Bochy putting his arm around a player in a casual atmosphere and talking about the future. Guys don't get together. You don't see the guys. They're by themselves. They have representatives around them all the time. I don't know if that's a better thing for the game or a worse thing for the game, but times are different. So I don't think you're going to see that intimate one-on-one conversation going on with especially a player from another organization. It's just a different world out there. It's very tight-lipped, very professionally run where, no, you don't talk to player A unless you go through B, C, and D to get there.
All right, Bret, go have fun in Seattle, man. This is your weekend.
I got about 50 appearances today, guys. It's kind of fun. It had to wake me up this morning, get me ready for the day.
Hey, home run derby, who's your pick?
Who we got? Give me my choices. Julio.
Luis Robert Jr., Acuna. You got Pete Alonso's back in there. Vladdy. You got Mookie Betts, who's got 25 home runs at the break.
I don't like Mookie in this tournament.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll tell you who I'm going to take. Julio put on a big show last year, didn't win?
Yes, he did.
And I think the new format, you know, I did it a couple times. The format wasn't as good. I think they tweaked the formula. They got it right now. It's the best entertainment for the fans. The rules of the home run derby now. Julio had a great one last year. He's going to be the fan favorite, obviously, being in Seattle. But I'm going to go with Vladimir Guerrero.
I like that.
I like Pete Alonso. I like Pete Alonso. And take some aspirin. I like ibuprofen the day after softball.
Well, softball was 2 nights ago. I'm doing better today. I got the Theragun.
There you go. I'm sure Brett's tapped in.
And, you know, I'm playing Oh Is Me. You know, come on, honey. Then can't you see how hard my life is?
I love you.
Brett, have fun, man. Enjoy Seattle, man.
Stuff.
Always good talking to you.
Congrats, MVP.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I want you to be too. I want to hear that on for the next hour on the hour. Just make sure everybody knows.
We had MVP Bret Boone on the Morning Roast. MVP Bret. Whatever we introduce you now, you're going to be named MVP. MVP Boone.
Unbelievable lettuce.
I told my buddy, I said they're making up for 2001 when Ichiro stole my MVP. I should have had it that year.
I should have had it that year.
That's great.
Oh, man. Have a good one, Brett.
You got it. Thanks.
All right, Bret Boone here on the Morning Roast. We got All-Star Week blowout
He's
coming
great.
up.